I mean, it's not necessary we record it actually. It's not so mandatory. Ah, I cannot even sing to survive in this life. Anyways. Okay, okay, okay. We are here. In case anybody's asking questions, we are live. We are live. You say you don't believe me. Say you want to watch your All right, so let's just start. Good afternoon, everyone. Let this do no stop, Jerry. Can you imagine? You go and play it on your laptop. You're already testing to survive. Sha. That one seven or something. Yes, so it's something. It's something. So good afternoon, everyone. It's so nice to be back to your face. Um, Today, like I said, we are going to be touching a very it's like a repetitive topic. I'm sure that either we didn't testify here or outside testify, or I'm sure this topic is not new about job offers, how to arrange your CV, how to arrange your resume, how to do this, how to, I mean, you don't hear and tire. But over and over again, whenever I ask people to send me their resume, I still see a lot of flop and a lot of errors in it that people do. Now, one of the things you need to know is that personally, me, I will not be reviewing resume when you send it to me because seriously, it consumes a lot of time. You need to put in the effort for yourself if you want to, you want that you want the application to get to their table, and you want the next thing to come back to you as an interview invite or a job or a resume. I mean, I say resume or a job offer. So today we will be talking about the job offer kind of, resume. There are different kind of resumes. There are kind of resume that causes headache. There are kind of resume that causes breakup with your company. There are kind of resume that gets you job offers as well. So job offer, I mean, if by now you know how to do proper software testing manually, I'm not even talking about automation, right? That one is more like an intermediate thing. But let's even say you know how to do proper manual testing. You can see them, you can write test cases, you can see that you can test an application and identify bugs, and you can log an adequate bug report on Jira or Trello, whatever you know how to use. You know how to come up with test cases or scenarios. You know how to review an application critically. You know how to test a product to a point of break. You know how to be the gate quality of that product. Then you should be working as a tester, right? If by now you're on this call, you're not working as a tester yet, then I think it's time for us to review, for you to review your resume and for you to start applying for jobs. Well, today I'm not going to talk about how you should apply for jobs, where you can get jobs. I'm going to be focusing strictly on your resume. Okay. If you're on this call right now, it means that you're possibly gone through the test camp program before. Okay. Um, for those that have not gone through, I hope it's something you are still always part of the community. You are actively participating in the program and learning, right, to be better person, and also sign up to one of our courses sometimes and participate. Like someone said to me one time, she said she has been into the testing field for over 12 years, but she still came to take our beginner course, and she was like, okay, why didn't I know all of those things before? So I'm not sure these people knows that once it's 3:40, we don't accept people again. Okay, so let's move. What is unique about a resume offer, or a job offer kind of resume? First thing we are going to talk about is the basic info you put on your page, on your resume. What are the basic info that should be on your resume? I see some people put their genotype, their marital status, their home address in details, like number room 2B, streets, house 15, street manager code to me, bus stop, yeah, call me, you guys put all of those details, put a lot of information. However, all of these things here is enough. Your full name, right? I've actually seen someone sent a resume as a nickname before. Like I'm like, Eshokwe. What are you doing? So write your name in full. If it should be the name, that when you join the company, that is what you want to be addressed as. So your full name, your LinkedIn URL, your email address. Nobody needs your phone number. I don't know why people do that, but please don't do that. You don't need to add your phone number to it. Your email address is just fine. Your company is not going to interview you via phone call. I mean, I know some companies do that, but please, we are not local we are not local testers. We are international testers. So your email address is just fine. GitHub URL, or if you have a website that all of these informations are there. For example, on your website, let's say your GitHub URL is there, your email address is there, your LinkedIn is there. You might not want to bother, but the first of I mean, this is something that will go from one table to the other. So let this information speak there. LinkedIn URL, email address, GitHub URL. If you have a website, fine. If you don't, fine. Your address, two things is just your address is just fine. State and country. For example, you're in UK. What part of UK are you in? You Manchester? Are you in London? If you're in London, just put London, United Kingdom. If you're in Manchester, put Manchester, United Kingdom. If you're in Nigeria, Lagos State, Nigeria. If you're in Abuja, Abuja, Nigeria. Simple. No, we don't need your room number. We don't need your house number. We don't need your street name. Nobody's going to come and look for you in your house, and that is too much. Is a risky, too much information to provide to someone that you're not even sure if they want to have a business with you, right? Yeah, remember that these people that you're sending your resume to, they are strangers, right? Whether you like it or not. Yes, they are a company with the biggest name, but they are strangers. So you don't want to provide too much of information to them. And you don't know how careless anyone can be with this resume. So somebody can open your resume on their laptop as an HR or as a recruiter or anyone, and they're going to do something else. And they probably, let's say this is one of those days that the bad guys are in their company gathering information. That information is just too much to be provided. Okay. So your state and country is just fine. There are over 1 billion or 1 million or 1,000 people living in that same state and country. So nobody's going to drill it down to you. For that full name, definitely not only you bearing that name in the whole of Lagos or in the whole of the country. So URL, email address, and anything that does not link directly to where you stay, to what you spend and eat, then it's fine to share. So this is just enough information that should be on your page. If you have the website, fine. If you don't have it, don't bother to share it. But at least 5 of this, the full name, the LinkedIn, the email, the GitHub, and the address is fine. Someone will tell me that, oh, what if I don't have GitHub? I don't know any tester that don't have a GitHub account. Whether you're doing manual or you're doing automation, you should have a GitHub account where you keep your work, your resources, the things that you have done personally, the activities you have volunteered for, tested applications you have tested, the reports should be on your GitHub. It's not only code that goes to GitHub. Okay. So yes, these are the basic information that I believe should be on your resume. Remember, okay, when we get to the page of layout, because remember your resume should just be one layer, one page. So pitch decks, which a lot of you call summary or profile description, I call it a pitch deck because what you want to do in this place is nobody's going to sit down to start reading the article you write. When I started in primary school, I would like to press computer, and then when I went to serve, I went to work in an IT company, and as a result of that, I had interest to do testing, and then I started with my in fact, I call it elevator pitch. Just tell me what you want the company to know about you. Okay? For me, one of the things I used to have in my, because I always update my pitch deck. I'm always writing based on inspiration. In sometimes my resume, my pitch deck would just be, I'm a quality book from the initiation to the delivery. I'm very much involved 100%. Simple, short, and precise. Of course, I'm not saying that is not also my pitch deck, but you get what pitch deck mean. You are going into the company, and the way the title, I think this is part of the basic information that should be, right? The title or the job you're applying for should also be there. So let's say, for example, which for me, I didn't put it because sometimes, these jobs just what do we call it now? They just change title the way they like, especially for quality assurance and software testing. Today you can see we are looking for a software tester role. Next tomorrow you can see we are looking for a software test engineer role. Next tomorrow you can see you're looking for software engineering test. Another we are looking for quality assurance. The title varies. So sometimes I don't even bother to put it at all. When I started putting it is when I get to a stage of, okay, this is a managerial position. I will then put it here, lead quality assurance and test automation engineer. Now that can go with any managerial position that I want to apply for. Or so um when you're writing your pitch deck, so three things changes when you're submitting a resume. Anytime you saw a job, the three things you need to always go back to your resume to change to confirm is the title that is on your CV versus the title that they're looking for. Make sure that they're the same thing. Second thing is the pitch deck. Make sure that your pitch deck speaks to what you are applying for. You cannot have a pitch summary that speaks to a software tester when you're applying for a lead role. Okay, that has to change. That has to speak to you being capable of that position. So you don't just say, I'm a good, no bug can slip by my eye that pays attention to detail. Versus, I can manage an executive team of over 50 testers and make and transform them to be a detailed and quality oriented team member in 3 months. Now, that kind of pitch deck will not work for somebody that is a volunteer or somebody that is an intern or someone that is a junior or someone that is just a senior person. So your pitch deck also has to change. Okay. I hope you take note of that. So, like I said, in your pitch deck, it has to be at most 2 lines or 3 lines is okay. 2 to 3 lines is just okay in your resume, in your pitch deck, which some of you call profile summary or profile description or whatever it is. I call it a pitch deck because, see, you want to make a statement within 30 seconds or 10 seconds without boring the listener. Another thing you also want to take note of your pitch deck here is the keywords. Okay, make sure that the keywords that the companies are looking for is also present in your resume. We'll talk about that later. I don't think I had them here, but please remind me that there are some things I want to mention later. So yeah, this should be very short, straight to the point, and precise. Let it be a very bold statement, an audacity kind of statement. Don't. That's why I said resume is not something you give to people to do for you. I always say it every time. I know, yes, there's somebody that can help you create a resume, the person collect 50K. See, resume is not something you give to people to do. It's something you can do for yourself. And nobody can do it better than you can. I don't like to write, princess. I'm just tired of writing this time. I want somebody to you can do it. And that is why sometimes in fact, when I first have my master resume, like I call it, my master resume took me like 2 months to build because I don't want to sit down to just do a resume. I've done it. Today can be about my basic information. When I finish writing all the things I want to share, the question is, do I need this to be there? No, remove it. Do I need to be there? Yes. Is this too much information? No, is it precise? I pay attention to those tiny things. The same thing with your pitch deck. You could come up with different. It could take you up to 1 week to frame out the perfect pitch deck. It could come up to a week. Now, so once you have those things standard, subsequently you just want to check it. Okay, does it relate to this role? Okay, you just clean it up, and that's it. It's not something that you need to be creating every time, right? So pitch deck should be very straight, concise, and a bold audacity statement. Let them read your pitch deck like, wow, I want to know more about this person, and then they scroll down to read about your experience. All right, for the layout of a resume, I've seen a lot of samples. I've seen a lot of resumes, and some people put pictures, some people put a lot of coloring, some people put gold at the top part, put gray at the other part. Guys, 4-5 page of resume for somebody that don't have up to 2 years of experience, that don't even have up to 10 years of experience, or you don't even have up to 20 years of experience. They're creating 2, 3, 5 page of resume. Now, why? Please. So that brought me to talk about the layout. For layouts, see, I've said the only person that is permitted, or the only set of people that are permitted to have 2-page resume are people that have more than 10 years of experience in that field. Those are the only set of people that are permitted to have 2-page resume. Your resume is just 1 page. One page resume. I don't have a lot of years of experience in testing, but the little that I have, everything went on one page. And no color blunders, please. There is no, see, make it black and white. Simple. Skills, list out your skills, then go to your experience, then your education and certification, talk about your volunteer and achievement. That is all. I'm going to show you a sample resume on this call. See, when you see some resume, you just want to sit down and look at what is even inside here. This layout is just perfect for any company that is seriously looking for you is fine with this layout. I said they are just people that are just looking for resume to gather and put in under their table. But any company that wants you, when they see this kind of layout, they are calling for you because you have given them every single thing they want to know about you. So let me pick these things one by one. Talking about the skills. Now, for your skills, I know a lot of times some of us don't know how to arrange our skills because you possess so much that you don't know how to share the great thing you know very well, or all of the things you know. Let me put it that way. You don't know how to share all of the things you know very well. There is so much you know, there is so much you can do. And sometimes we make a lot of mistakes about the way we arrange them. So to make life very easy, this is what I used to do. What are the areas that I'm very proficient on? Remember, I talk about proficiency in terms of my testing capabilities, my testing skills. Now, Postman is not the same thing as API. That one is a fight for another day. But API is something I'm very proficient in. Manual testing is something I'm very proficient in. Creating user stories is something I'm very proficient in. SQL, Java, and so on. Any other thing you think you are very proficient in should come here. Familiar, okay, I know about them. I've heard them before. In fact, I've played with them before, but I'm not proficient in them. Now, you can now put them, is it automation? Is it DevOps on AWS? Because now remember, those things, they have already listed it as things that they are looking out for, okay, in their requirements in the job. They are ready. So you now bring those things here and say, okay, I heard about this thing before. You know, your mind, this is you saying it to yourself that, okay, I've heard about this thing before. I've studied it before, but I'm not so proficient in them. So you list them here. Tools. Now, that's why I said there is a difference between a tool, you know, and a skill. I know a lot of times most people mistake that. They don't really know how to differentiate between a skill that they are good at and a tool that they know how to use. Okay. Um Cypress is a tool that is used for test automation. Test automation is a skill. Okay. Cypress itself is a tool. VS Code is a tool. GitHub is a tool. So GitHub and repository management are two different things. Yes, GitHub is what we use for carrying out the activities, but they are two different things. We have Jenkins, it's a tool, okay? We have VS Code is a tool, we have IntelliJ, we have Postman, all of this. So you list your tools here, you list the things that you're familiar with, and you list the things that you're very, very proficient in. That is it all about in your skill set. I know that we have, see, and I'm saying that whatever template I give you here is not bed on the rock, right? It's something that can change. You could have your own your skill set arranged in soft skill, technical skills. I used to do that, right? But as time goes on, like I said, you need to keep evolving. Soft skill, technical skill. Soft skill, you can tell anybody that I know how to talk to people. But it is until when you get to the job before we can verify that you know how to talk to people. Okay, you can say you know how to manage people until we give you something to manage, and let's see how you manage it. So these are the things that I used to list there in the skills area. Next is your experience. Very simple and short. I see people not know how to um sorry. Okay, so I've seen people not know how to express what they do in the company in terms of impact. So one of the things I used to advise is for you to use the Google XYZ formula to outline your achievements. Okay. What does somebody will ask, what does Google XYZ mean? Right? Let me go to let me find a way to express it. So you were able to use X to achieve Y that resulted in Z. That's the simple English. You were able to use X to achieve, or you created X using Y to achieve Z. I don't know if that makes sense. I created X using Y to achieve Z. That is your template. Simple, straight to the point. And that should now be in, different bullets, different bulletin. I'm trying to open a sample for you. So let me give you an example of, let me say, I would say, I did X using Y, which led to Z. I would say I built a payroll application X, the name of the product, using Vue.js, which generated over $100K in revenue. As a tester, you can say, I tested a loan application, or I tested carbon application, or I how do I even put it now? I carried out a test automation test on a payroll application using Selenium and Java programming language, that is the Y, which generated over 50% less amount of manual testing work. Do you understand? Again, I did X. That is always the first thing. What did you do? I did X. I write an automation test. I carried out the manual testing. I developed a test case document. I executed a test application. Do you understand? I did X using Y. What did you use? Oh, I used Postman 2. I used Cypress. I used Selenium with Java programming language. I used Selenium with Python programming language. I used a combination of Java on a Selenium framework with a Jenkins tool for CI/CD pipeline, which generated to 20% increase of delivery time, or 50% time lesser in delivering test report. These are the things you write in your resume. These are the things that should, for every single line of your responsibilities under that company. That is the way you're going to list. And that's why you don't list more than 3 bullets. 3 bullets. All right, I dropped the link there on how you can. Now, when you're also writing these things, make sure that your English is clear and there are no typos. Okay, make sure that your English is clear and there are no typos. I will allow you to ask questions later in case you have questions. I'll also share the link to you in case you want links. The last part is your volunteer or achievement, not the last part. Yeah, but second to the last part. Make it testing related, or at most a tech related achievement or a tech related volunteer experience. I don't want to see you saying that I was the youth coordinator in our church, or I used to be the president during the NYSC days, or I used to help the motherless babies home. That does not speak to your career, right? That does not speak to this particular job that you're applying for. And make sure that your volunteer or achievement shows impact. Is that you're showing impact in you or you're showing impact to other people? It must show impact. And at most, 1 is fine, 2 is superb, 3 is perfect. At most 3. Don't bother to list 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's almost that these are the things that we do that makes our resume just cumbersome with unnecessary informations. The last part is how am I even saying last part? Education. Please, no primary or secondary school. MSc, BSc is fine. If you have PhD, MSc, BSc, fine. Okay. Certification related to software testing only. Please, when I say certification, let's say you have done ISTQB or ASTQB or a testing institute or any certification program that you did, right? Those are the things you put. Not all those LinkedIn course you took, Udemy course you took. Okay, these are the things that people that are looking for internship can put in their resume. But if you have gone through, you have a proper testing skill, you have a proper testing experience, or you have gone through a proper academy, you put only testing related certificates. I don't know how to put the word certification and certification, right? Because certificate is different. Anybody can give you certificate. LinkedIn, you do a course, they give you certificate of completion. You know, Udemy give you certificates. That's to give you, no certificate like this I'm talking about is, let's say you took a certification that you paid for to get. Let me put it that way. And I'm not talking about, I don't even know how to still put it again. I'm not talking about I paid $10 or I paid 5,000 naira. Or no, you know what I mean by certification. ISTQB certificate is different from LinkedIn certificate that you get. It's different from Udacity certificate or Udemy certificate that you paid $10 for to get. Okay, certificate. If you don't have, don't put it. Don't stress. You have a certification in, let's say in Scrum Master, right? Put it there, but it has to be certification that you paid for, that you did an exam for, that you pass. That is what you put there, not courses you took online and then they give you one printed certificate and then that is it. No, because again, I've seen the resume. Somebody put test automation university resume, put certificate, put with that certificate, put link this certificate. Everything was so much that one alone even almost took a page. No. All right. So before I go to a few questions of mine, I want to show you a resume sample that follows this pattern that I just shared with you. Okay. Okay, so if you look at the screen, this is someone that posted the resume he was able to use to get job of recent, and it totally follows the same format that I've also talked to you. This is the same format. In fact, there was a time I dropped my old resume on the WhatsApp group one time, and I've seen quite a number of people went to just copy it, clean it up, change their name and my picture, and they went to use it to apply for jobs. Please let your resume be true to you. Okay, so look at this person. This is all. This is just it. This is just one page resume. Let me zoom it out. What you will see here is full name, email address, LinkedIn, GitHub, and then the person has a website, state and country. Let me see. Okay, you guys can see it. Next thing here is skills. This one does not even have the pitch deck, which I don't advise you don't, but if you can skip it, skip it. Anyways, it's fine. Proficiency, can you see JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SAS, React, Vue, TypeScript, Git, Adobe XD, Adobe Photoshop, REST API. Is familiar with jQuery, Firebase, MongoDB, all of those things, tools that he has used. Can you see? Experience, the name of the company, your title when you were at that company, the month and the year you started, and the month and the year that we are or that you stopped. So this person is still there while this person has why he has stopped working here. And please let your date arrangements let it make sense. When I say let it make sense. For example, this doesn't make sense. Okay, that's why I just said I would just want you to see the layout. But this date here doesn't make sense. As much as it looks like perfect, right? I mean, from your eyes, like one page, look at the way it's clean and everything, but I can still tell you that it doesn't make sense. When I say it doesn't make sense, it's me looking at the content at this point. Now let's check this out. March 2021 to December, this person was here working as a technical support engineer. And this person is also working out as internship as a front-end developer in October to March. Now, within the same period, this is March, right? Let's say March, April, May, June, July. At August, this person was working as an open source engineer. At August, September. He has not ended. Remember, he has not ended working as a technical support. He has not ended working as an open engineer. And then he joined this place as a front-end person internship in October, 2 months after again, after doing this one. He joined this one as October. Now, all of those things, this one, he ended it in 2021. This one, he continued it. I mean, this was the next one. He continued it in September 2022, which is this September that we are, while he ended this one in March. Now, while he's still doing this one in March, 2 months later, he started this one. So the question is, when did he stop all of this thing permanently and we'll just focus on this one? It shows that he just dropped this one. Okay, he dropped this one in March, dropped this one in September. So while he was here, he was working these two places together, which no company wants to see that. So make your dates make sense, if you know what I mean. Like you see, the name of the company, the title you had at that company, you know, and sometimes the title that you might have might not really make sense. I say that because some company can, you are a software tester, but they will tell you that you are a quality assurance person, or you're a, they just give you some kind of title that doesn't make sense. But so please, you can work on your title to make sure that it makes sense. That's just what I'm saying. And get it from their offer. If they give you a senior role, leave it as a senior role. Don't go and put a lead role in your resume. Because I've seen somebody working in a company as a intermediate tester or level 2 tester. Then he sent his resume to a recruiter, and that recruiter brought the resume back to the company that he's currently working. And the company was like, no, this person is not working as a lead engineer here. This person is working as an intermediate person, So please, like I said, let your resume be through. However, that is not the cocoa. The cocoa I want us to go to is this bullet. See, let your bullet stay at 3 lines. 3 bullets is just fine. 3 bullets is just fine. You don't need 4, you don't need 5, you don't need 6, you don't need 7. Fine quality, 3 quality things that you can lay your hands on that you did in that company. Now, but let's look at how you wrote it. He said, built, remember, I said your English should be very correct. Built a device management dashboard with reusable components. This is his X. This was what he did. What is his Y? He said using Vue.js. That is what he used. Now, what is the Z? What was the result? He said, which is used to manage over 30 third-party applications. This is the Z. Next line. Created an employee payroll blueprint application. This is what he did. Using Vue.js, this is the Y. And company API capable of managing payroll of 10,000 employees. This is the Z. Okay, using his Vue.js and company API. That is what he used. This is what it is. This is what he used, and this is the result. Next one, built reusable components. What he did, using Vue.js, TypeScript, and Pinia. Contributed to redesign of the company's website. Okay, so this one does not follow the principle. Now you see this approach is what you should use for every bullet, and what you just need to do is 3 bullets. 3 bullets, and you're done. You have created everything under your experience. Next thing, volunteers. He mentioned 2 things: being an Oscar contributor, certification, Google Developer Scholarship Program, and his BSc. Simple. Now, the volunteer experience, he participated in Oscar design and participated to speak at an event. Simple, straight, and precise. He has told me if I need further information, I'll be calling for an interview. That is why interview is there. It's for you to know more, about I think this call might end anytime soon because we have limited to 40 minutes. So that is all that I wanted to share. Things I will do is that I will share this this resume sample with you. I will also share the Google, Google have this thing called the Google XYZ. Google teaches you, there is a page on Google that shows how to create an XYZ format. I will drop these links in the group on Slack, in the resources channel precisely. So that'll be all from me, guys. Do we have any question in the remaining 7 minutes? In the absence of no question, we can call it a day. No question, right?
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. On the resume, where they said you should list out the like what you have been doing in the company, is it the same thing that you should just put it in a bullet format?
Yes, it's the same thing. Is your responsibility that they want to see? What did you do when you were at the company?
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else? Any other question? Okay. I believe there is no further question.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sorry. You talked about certification and you mentioned only tech certifications. And there are some certifications that we actually paid for, say the customer relationship management certification. Can that be included? And people like me, we don't have any background in tech. All I did was banking and I've been working as a banker. So can I still add that to my resume?
Okay, so let me start from the back. Nope, you can't add that to your resume. If you have like just one, just one company that you are working with, right? And you have a resume, you have done something in tech. There is a way we can pick out some experience you have had in the banking sector. you know we need to know what you have in your resume as a banker that can be leveraged on. It's called a transferable skill. What are the transferable skills you have as a banker that can be useful in this new role? But you can't submit a resume to a tech company for a tech role with a banker experience. You need to get that experience. You need to, is either you want to, first of all, you get a skill as a tester and learn. Apparently, probably when you have that skill, you can use the same company to work as an intern, okay, and I use that to gather experience that you can use that to build your resume, but not to just have banking in your CV and use it to apply. The second thing you talked about is for the certification. It depends, right? If you're applying for a role that require you to be able to manage people or manage customers and stuff like that, yeah, possibly you can put that. I mean, it's just one line. It won't do your CV any harm. However, if you have someone that have grown in your field as a tester, then we don't need it. We don't need that customer service. Like I said, a lot of times in the past, most of us has worked in different company as we have done a lot of jobs, but now we are building a career in another field. So those things you can't show it away. You should, or let me say you should. Yeah, you should have it there, but you will not emphasize on it. So it means that you can have it, but it's not something to. It's just like the way I will not brag on of ISTQB in a customer service department. It's the same way you won't brag of your customer service certificate in a testing company. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What about someone who is starting a QA fresher and hasn't done much? When you say QA fresher, what does that mean? Have you been working as a tester? Do you just start your software testing career? Are you currently working in a company? Possibly like you're working in a company as an intern. If you're working in a company as an intern, follow the same Google SYZ format. It doesn't mean you have to show two, three different jobs. I have someone that just work in only one company and I worked there for over 7 years. So it's still the same company, that only one company that the person will put there. But we want to see how the person has progressed in 7 years in the company. So it could be just one company, use the same format. Nobody says you have to use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 companies. All right, Felicia, I hope I answered your question. All right, so that'll be all for today. We meet every day every day, every Saturday by 3:30 to 4:30. That should be the normal time. But sometimes we used to stay on the call till 5. But today I think we are very precise. From next week, I want us to go into something very much more technical. So I just thought to stop by to do this resume stuff. So, and of course, like I said, on the Testers platform, in case you have created your resume, please feel free to share your resume. I know we like to hide our resume. I don't want people to see what I've done. I don't want people to see what's in my resume. But really, you can pick one or two persons to share your resume to for review. Okay. And people can review your resume for you. If you know you have an interview during the week, please feel free to drop it in the Slack channel, and let us know you have an interview so we can If you want a one-on-one session preparation, you can let me know. I can volunteer to do that based on maybe agreed on the time together. All right, so that'll be all, guys. Have a great.
I have something.
You might need to drop it in the chat section. This call is ending now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, and let's have a great weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.